your 2 News Oklahoma fantasy football forecast.
Got to beat.
That was a week. A week end
1 week
of
in the
football.
books.
Says the guy who scored the most points in our league.
Yeah, there were some questions after the draft, but we're in it now.
I think
We're
the
in it.
strategy worked.
I think it worked
Apparently.
out okay.
Yeah.
Week 1. It really, we talked about this before. It was preseason, extended preseason week 1. In theory, because, look, a lot of these teams didn't play in preseason, or a lot of players didn't play in preseason, but here we are. They finally got in, and now they're getting the rust knocked off of them. By week 3 or 4, we'll start to actually know things. I feel like we still don't know a lot. We think we know a lot, but I think we still truly don't know a
Here's
lot.
something I know. Carson Wentz will not be scoring 27.6 points per week for you, Ryan Love.
Everybody
whoa.
said, that's your second quarterback. Yeah, it was my second
That's
quarterback.
right. Thank you. And, hey, I'm glad you started there because Baker Mayfield and what we saw in the fourth quarter in a 2-quarterback league, there was a lot of – did somebody play Baker in our league? I didn't catch that. But, just in terms of a guy of local interest, it started in such a way that you thought, that Carolina line is as bad as everybody said, and I'm not so sure this is going to work out. McCaffrey had nothing going the first 3 quarters. But then that fourth quarter makes you think, maybe. The second quarterback's really key in this league. Having Aaron Rodgers in multiple leagues – I'm aware of just how important quarterback play is.
Yes.
I didn't have it.
Yeah. Look, we should be just appalled by the Browns' new logo in the middle of their field.
I saw that.
That should eliminate them from the NFL immediately.
I can't believe they
Weird
won.
little elf.
With a 60-yard kick.
I wouldn't say weird little. I think that thing's monstrous and frightening and does not belong in the NFL, but that's just my take. Anyway, so it was
Are you just describing Deshaun Watson or the logo?
But you know what? It was a big week. Ryan did awesome. Cade won. I won. So all 3 of us were winners. We're 3
winners. I beat the only team that I could have beaten. I had the second lowest score of the week, but I'm 1-0. Scantlin. Sorry, buddy. Yeah.
Well, I beat the champ, so I'm excited.
Look at
He
you.
beat me twice last year, so I came back with I had some some vengeance to take over, and sure enough, I let that out.
Yeah, and he's got a good team. But star of your team, Justin Jefferson.
JJ, that's why I paid so much money
39
for him.
points. That's right. Worth every penny.
Vegas has odds of him being the MVP way up. Him and Saquon Barkley, ironically.
Yeah.
So who, a lot of people discredited this past season.
Real shame on Chris DiMaria for beating Annie Brown after she just had a baby.
What a classless.
What is going on?
That's Syracuse for you.
I want to know, did she set her lineup? Look, she had a baby Friday
Impressive
night.
if she did.
It was
Should be a bonus.
not an expected not expected date of birth. So was she able to set her lineup? Did you see her lineup? Did it look reasonable?
It looked reasonable to me. She only lost by 4 points.
Well,
now she's got Justin Fields and Daniel Jones as her quarterback. So look, far be it from me to critique a new mother, but that's an interesting strategy there.
And both those quarterbacks won this last
But Devontae Adams brought home 30 points. So whatever she paid for him, probably worth it. Yeah.
So it was especially that early window of games, just chaos across the league. Missed kicks, overtime games, ties, all of this.
That was just the Bengals Steelers.
Yeah, right. Joe Burrow with 5 interceptions, yet somehow they're still in it at the end.
That game was wild.
And then the other storyline that I thought was the biggest part of the weekend were injuries to, significant guys, especially when it comes to fantasy. We were talking before we came on. Najee Harris, foot injury, comes out of that game. Says he'll play this week.
Right.
His backup is Jalen Warren. I'm sure he's been a huge waiver wire pickup or got people waiting for tomorrow morning to hit for the waiver wire.
And he went viral. Not his numbers, I think he might have had 7 yards or something like that on the very limited carries he had. But he went viral with the way he blocked, which tells you he's going to get a chance to be on the field, right? Yeah. I mean, he was decleating people multiple times as a running back handling the blitz. And so, look, this is a guy who's ready to be on the field in the NFL. I don't know exactly where they're going to be at with Harris in terms of carrying the load. And I don't know exactly what they feel about Jalen right now as a guy carrying the rock. But I think he's going to get chances to not only carry the ball but then catch it some out of the backfield. So It depends on what you have in the running back room, but if you're like me and, your second back is J.K. Dobbins, well, you're intrigued by a guy like Jalen Warren right about now because I'm just not sure, when we're going to see Dobbins again and what it's going to look like. So, yeah, he's an intriguing fella right now, Jalen is.
Do you think Jalen should something happen to Najee long term, if this foot injury turns into something bigger, is he a guy, not necessarily just for fantasy purposes, but for the Steelers season, is he a running back that they would be able to run for as like your main guy, your 3-down back? Or is he going to be somebody that they're going to have to bring extra guys in if something happens to Najee?
My guess is that they're going to want to platoon that to the extent that they can. But my guess is also that he is ready to be a relatively productive NFL running back. Certainly not elite. I would say far from elite. But he is as physical as you want. Look, to me, he is just everything you expect from an NFL back in that his strength is – there are no questions about it. Okay. So the speed is just good enough.
Okay.
I mean, he's a shorter back. The speed is good. I mean,
so maybe James Robinson?
That's not a terrible comparison. No, I don't think he's great catching the ball out of the backfield, but can do it some. Yeah. Obviously, I think he's already, you could say, borderline elite in terms of blitz pickup. I mean, that really was. If you haven't seen those clips,
I'll have to go
go find the clips. He was decleaning guys coming on the blitz, which was spectacular. And he was a difference maker for Oklahoma State last year. Here's the thing, this against big boy defenses, right? So not NFL level, but close in terms of the college game. He was missing in the Big 12 championship game against Baylor, and OSU could not run the ball and ended up losing that game. He came back against Notre Dame, a defense that was on par with Baylor, and everything kind of changed. He was the difference maker. They were able to move the ball. I think, it can be difficult for a rookie, but he's already doing the things that I think come most difficult for a rookie generally, and that's blocking. I think he'll be able to run. I think he'll be fine. If Najee can't go, he's a guy who's not going to be at Najee's level in terms of production, but he can absolutely be a guy that you want in your lineup, I think. We'll see.
Can we send some of that blocking knowledge over to Dameon Pierce and the Houston Texans? Because then,
not a bad idea.
Because we're dealing on the waiver wire, Sexy Rexy, Rex Burkhead, 83-year-old man who is still out there. God knows how or why.
When he was in college, Nebraska was winning games. That's how old he is.
These Patriots. See, I used to like the Patriots. I mean, I didn't like them, but I was like, you know what? They're phenomenal.
I liked Brady.
Yes, I like Brady too. But you know what? Now I think they're getting a little too crazy in their head. And I'll give you an example, okay? Let's go to the New England Patriots, who do not select an offensive coordinator. And it shows so well this week that they didn't even know what the heck they were doing. Mac Jones looked like Chad Pennington light.
I'm glad I wasn't high on that guy coming into the season because, reality check in week one.
Yeah, gross. It was sick. Then let's go over to the Texans, who have a lot of Patriots takeovers. And you've got Rex Burkhead, former Patriot over there, going 1.1 yard per carry because God knows why they want the old man out there instead of giving Dameon Pierce, this young team. Let's not try out Dameon. Maybe you can see that I started.
I was going to say, do you have Dameon Pierce on your team?
Yes, I played him instead of CEH, and then I was smacked upside the head. But I came out a winner, but still I'm a little bitter about it. But then let's go over to the LA Raiders, okay? McDaniel, who has Bolden out there, former Patriot guy, who can't do junk, and Josh Jacobs is actually doing incredibly well. But we're putting Brandon Bolden out there. So these Patriots, they get in their head that they are the elite of the elite, and they have been, but maybe it was just Brady all along. Maybe it was just Brady.
Look, the guy is still doing it, and here's the thing with Brady. Even though it was only 19 points total, and it wasn't just a spectacular fantasy day for him either. How many PhDs does this guy have? You know what I mean? Like he is as good as it gets at just playing the defense like a fiddle, knowing exactly what's coming, finding a way to generate some run game, and then get into the play action the way he wants. I mean, he is the master, no question. I'm not going to say it was all him, but it was a lot him. And look, the team on the other side of New England this week, Miami, they got it to Tyreek a lot, right? I mean, Tua can't throw it 70 yards, but you can still find ways to get the ball to Tyreek Hill. Obviously, they're going to pump it to him, and that opened it up for Waddle, who was able to hit a big one. And Tua is a guy that they got their jokes in, but I'm not so sure that's not a guy that you wouldn't feel really good about starting. It's certainly in a 2-quarterback league.
Yeah, well, going to the Dolphins, who I was so excited to drop right this morning when ESPN unlocked that roster, Mike Gesicki, because
I was gonna say, why do you have him if that's your nickname for him? Just for the nickname? Just for the jokes?
Desperate times call for desperate measures in the tight end world. But Gesicki,
I would like to draft a team just for the jokes sometimes.
It frustrates me because he is a pretty good tight end. But Miami has decided, you know what, we're just going to – I mean, they tagged him, so they're going to be paying him a lot of money this year. This is ridiculous. And he had one target.
Yeah.
And he was
so
outplayed
that's
by
all
the
you
other
need to
tight end.
see. You're done.
Done.
Done with Gesicki.
If people know who play me in other leagues, they're like, once someone burns me, I'm dead. They're dead to me.
You're dead to me.
Gesicki is dead to me. He might be the next Rob Gronkowski. I don't care. He's dead.
So with you were saying, like, once a guy does you wrong, he's out of here.
He's out.
How do you feel the opposite way? Because there were some guys who are not on a lot of fantasy rosters.
Sure.
Who had really good performances this past week. Some of them a little touchdown vulture-y,
right.
Like a Jamal Williams. DeAndre Swift went off in this game.
Right.
Jamal Williams comes in the end or in the red zone, scores these touchdowns. Same sort of thing with Dontrell Hilliard for the Titans. Didn't have this crazy stat game, but catches a couple touchdowns in place of Derrick Henry, who did not have a very good fantasy week. Where are you at on guys like those two, Robbie Anderson, Curtis Samuel, Devin Duvernay for the Ravens, who just came out of nowhere? These sort of guys who just pop up and maybe they'll be good for next week, or they might do nothing because nobody really expected what they did this week.
Well, I'm going to start at the bottom with O.J. Howard. He had 2 targets, and he made gold of those
efficiency.
2 targets. That is incredible efficiency. He's someone to watch, but I would not spend a lot of money on the waiver wire on him. I just wouldn't. I mean, 2 targets, that doesn't bode well. If he was up to 6 to 7 targets and had that, I'd be like, hey, scoop him up. So don't spend a lot of money on him. We go back up to Robbie Anderson, who's on the top of Ryan's list. Robbie has had a top 24 season, and he had it when DJ Moore had one. So, he's an intriguing player to add, and that's something to definitely watch, as well as Dotson with the Commanders. He is, a top rookie coming out of the system, and there's questions about Terry McLaurin. Is he elite? And with we heard in the preseason that Wentz and Dotson really connected together, so we're starting to see that in the extended preseason, as I call it. Curtis Samuel, I don't know. I mean, these whatever. Jamal Williams, about him. He's the touchdown vulture for DeAndre Swift. We've saw that the past couple of years. I want to also remind you, last year on week 1, DeAndre Swift had the same amount of points as he did this week 1. And it's weird how everybody is just falling back in love with DeAndre Swift. Then we quickly realize the next week he gets 6.2 points, and then Williams will end up getting 22 points. It's just the way the cookie crumbles in that. And then Dontre Hilliard is clear back up to Henry. But that was just luck on that. I wouldn't spend a lot. But so the Devin Duvernay, whatever you want to call it. Duvernay.
Mm-hmm. That's the one that interests me. Go ahead.
I mean, because they don't have a lot of guys to throw it to.
Absolutely. And they threw it really well this week, and I don't know exactly what to make of that. You expect, at least coming into this week, I expected Lamar to use his legs a fair amount, without Dobbins out there, and that they would spread it out and the backs would have some success. The backs really had no success.
None.
But Lamar threw it really, really well.
Yeah, he's playing for money.
Bateman, I think it was only 5 targets for Bateman, but still a really quality day and a touchdown. And then Duvernay, is that 4 targets on your list here?
Yep,
54 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's intriguing to me. Like, if Baltimore, I don't want to say it's turned a corner because, maybe we've seen it before, but if Lamar is graduating to something more than what I have thought of him as a passer in the NFL, that makes all of those guys certainly more valuable, especially if we don't know exactly what you're going to get from J.K. I didn't expect the passing game for Baltimore to be quite as on point as it was in week 1, and so Duvernay is interesting to me. I'm wait and see, I would say, on every single one of those guys. Robbie Anderson, the deep shot, from Mayfield late. You like the look of that. I mean, like that was a beautiful play, and I do wonder if they can just protect Baker a little bit, if he doesn't become a guy that you wouldn't feel terrible about playing. But for the most part, I think I'm wait and see on most of those guys. But the Baltimore passing attack does have me interested. I mean, I had Bateman on my bench this week, and I can't imagine I'll have him on my bench again just based on – I don't want to overreact to things.
Okay.
But it looked good. Now, it is just 1 week, though, right?
Yeah.
So you're not going to buy the Baltimore passing game just yet.
Ugh.
Show me a little more.
I don't buy the Bateman yet.
Okay.
I
mean, he's the guy who's going to get the most targets for them, though, right?
Boy, I don't know.
I don't think it'll be Duvernay.
It's tough to trust those Ravens. It really is,
Let me get into this right here.
Okay.
Okay. Bateman is not CeeDee Lamb.
No.
I'm not saying
CeeDee Lamb.
but-
CeeDee Lamb.
Okay. This is what I'm going with. This is eternally a problem for the Dallas Cowboys in the real world. But I think it's a problem for people in the fantasy world as well. Mm-hmm. You put a star on the side of somebody's helmet, and they play on Sunday Night Football, and they immediately become a star, and they become overvalued. And Jerry ends up having to pay more than market value for anybody on his squad who makes a few plays. And I'm beginning to wonder, because, look, CeeDee Lamb can do some things that you don't see anybody do. Right. And I've got him on my roster. This is why I'm taking a hard look and asking these questions. He can do some things that almost nobody in the league can do. But is he – I mean, let's put him next to, say, Cooper Kupp, who is an absolute master when it comes to running routes or knowing what the defense is doing or just finding a way to get open. Is CeeDee Lamb even an average NFL receiver when it comes to some of those more fundamental things? I'm not sure he is. And so – look, this is a problem for the Dallas Cowboys in the real world, but I also think fantasy-wise, especially with Dak on the shelf, and I assume we were going to get to Dak, man, I'm really worried. It was only 1 week. It was the Buccaneers. That's a really good defense. But is CeeDee Lamb a number one receiver that you feel great about in this year of our Lord 2022? Because I've got him, and I got to tell you, it's giving me a little bit of indigestion.
If I was relying on him, especially right,
I am.
Especially at this point with Cooper Rush coming in.
Yes.
If I was relying on CeeDee Lamb,
what looks worse than that
for the next few weeks? And Jerry, I mean, for whatever Jerry Jones says medically, is going on with Dak. He said he's not putting him on the IR because he thinks he could be back in 4 weeks. Is that
an
true?
Absolute moron.
I don't know.
They put a plate in his thumb.
Right.
He's coming back in 3 weeks. But get out of here with that.
And so even then, should they rush Dak back? What are you even getting with him?
I saw the headline
Lamb,
yesterday, will you trade for Jimmy Garoppolo? I'm like, what do they have to trade?
Right. Well,
they're light in all kinds of positions.
And Garoppolo's got a no-trade clause. Why would he do that?
Absolutely.
To go for 4 weeks.
Thank you.
Right. Yeah, to get shooed out of town as soon as
Cowboys
that
are in trouble. I mean, I know it's an overreaction Monday Tuesday, and I know we overreact to week one more than we do any week there is. But how can you look at what the Dallas Cowboys have going on and feel good, not only about the team, but about the team with regard to fantasy?
There's a meme, and I'll tweet it out, but the NFL playoff picture week one clinched nobody, in the hunt everybody, and then eliminated is the Cowboys.
That's right.
The Dallas Cowboys are done. Look, Cooper Rush.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Who ironically after the game was automatically demoted to the practice squad. I'm like, oh great, so they're going to start their practice squad QB. I know their NFL rules are funny, but it's just funny that you are playing your. We went through this with Ben DiNucci, I mean, Cowboys. Jerry Jones, I'm sorry, he needs. It's time for him to watch from home.
The weekly press conference he gives, gag me with a spoon. The guy is just so. He's after attention at every single turn, and he doesn't know the game the way you need to know the game. And there's a reason they've won, one playoff game in how many years is this? 25 years.
The entire league is going young. Everywhere, across the board. The entire league, executives, coaches, they're all going, who's the young guy with the bright mind who's going to change our
Not
franchise.
the Cowboys.
Not Jerry Jones.
Jerry. Did you see the guy checking out Dak's thumb on the sideline
Yes.
with the cowboy hat?
Their head trainer?
What is that guy's story? I need to know. That's what I just get. I need to know about this doctor or whoever wearing the cowboy hat.
Son,
yeah, exactly.
I do reckon.
I mean, that was the most Texas thing, the most Dallas thing I've ever seen.
You are not a good quarterback, Dak. That's problem number one. There's
Man, if you spent, do we know roughly what Dak went for in our league? I would love
in the
to know
30s,
that.
I think.
I was gonna say it definitely wasn't like top, but he was right in the middle, I think.
But here's the deal: Zeke actually looked spry and
He looked pretty good, yeah.
okay. And then so let's take him out most of the game, you know, and just let Dak just keep throwing it. You know, it's almost like they were so gun shy from last year when they tried to run Zeke in that tough defensive line with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it didn't work. They're like, this ain't going to work again. So let's just let Dak throw it to Houston, who I'd never heard of in my life. Their receiver,
Not
Houston.
familiar with his work.
No, yeah.
And he was their leading receiver on the night, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
And then, throwing it to these no-namers, it just was.
Yeah, CD Lamb is going to get bracketed or double coverage, I would think.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
because
every
there's
single
they
week.
could put the whole team on CD because they could.
Absolutely.
Houston can't catch.
Absolutely. So
Schultz
the moral
is-
of the story is I'm just an idiot for picking CD Lamb. One of those that
No.
looked good.
No,
Looked good when I bought him.
You originally opened that, you know, as much as I'm not a huge CD Lamb fan or a Dallas Cowboys fan, I would not give up hope just yet. I still think he has that high potential for eliteness, and I thought the same for Saquon. Why can't say the Barkley?
Hey, he had a week, huh? That's a guy to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, look, he and Justin Jefferson went up on the Vegas odds of being the league's MVP. So I think they're tied for number one overall, as you know, what the odds are saying of them, either one of them becoming the NFL MVP. So
How about that?
I think
Now, I
sometimes
don't
we give
see-
up too early on people, kind of like Trevor Lawrence. I watched his whole game the other day, and he seems a little jittery, and that's it. He's elite, but he seems jittery, and I don't know what's going to calm him down
that
unless
worries
they
you.
put a wide receiver one with him. I don't
Right,
think he has anybody they can truly trust out there, and until he does, he is going to be shaky. But go on. I didn't mean to.
Well, no. I think what you're saying is exactly right. Saquon and CD have things that you can't teach, things that other guys just don't have. It's all about just surrounding them with enough to let them shine.
Yes.
And my thing is, I should have seen some of the warning signs with the Dallas Cowboys. I think preseason, even with Dak as the quarterback,
The line.
I should have heeded some of
Offensive
that.
line.
Absolutely, the offensive, and then the receivers around him as well. And now that you take Dak out of the equation, I mean, man, the likelihood that it's going to be ugly for CD and that he's maybe going to throw a tantrum here or there, and you know what I mean? You could see this thing spiraling, circling the drain in short order. Not saying it absolutely will, just saying you could see it, especially in Dallas where, buddy, it's a rough week when it comes to the sports talk radio scene, and just it is not a great week to be a Dallas Cowboy because it means so much, not just to that city, but that fan base, which is nationwide. Saquon, though, I would have been high on him coming into this year because he does have it. I mean, relatively fresh because of all the football he's missed, and
He was a beast year one.
Yeah, and it was one of those things-
that Giants O-line was better.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of those things like he was one of those hot guys out of camp, like, oh, Saquon's looking good.
Yeah.
Saquon's season is back, you know. So it's kind of one of those, like, unless he was there and you needed the running back at that point in the draft, I feel like it was hard to take him at the time, but he certainly looked, he looked spry on Sunday. So
Okay, so let's wrap this up real quick of talking about Justin Jefferson. I think he's
Yeah.
still
This should be a
scoring
weekly
touchdowns
segment.
right now.
the Packers chose
be a
just
weekly segment.
not to cover him.
They're putting linebackers on him. Yeah.
They were just like, this guy, Justin Jefferson, who's he anyway? We'll just leave him alone.
Looking back at the stats, so it was very Cooper Kupp-esque with that new coach. He has a way of somehow getting these elite receivers in coverage against linebackers. And I don't know why or how, who thinks that's even at one route a smart idea.
Yeah, no.
I mean, that's just, to me, I mean,
You've out-schemed him if
I'm not a
if
coach.
That's what's happening.
I even stink at Madden, and I would know not to leave Justin Jefferson up against a right outside linebacker because he is going to get toasted. So, we talked about the waiver wire. We're going to actually do an additional podcast on Thursday to help set your lineups because we've got some crazy games coming up this week. We've got the Chiefs playing Thursday night.
Right.
Teams playing two games on Monday night. It's just weird.
Yeah, get your lineup in. Hey, you guys continue to talk as long as you want, but
No.
I do have a kid to pick up.
Yes, go pick up
I'll
That's
leave you
it.
here.
Yeah.
But hey, we're 3-0 right here.
Yeah.
That's right.
So even though I had the second worst team in the league this week, that's something
Hey,
to brag
a
about.
win's a
so
win.
we will. Exactly. Boys, be good.
Thank you. Caden McFarland, our sports director, the guy that knows all sports. So, Ryan, I think we got, Ryan, if you don't know him so far, he is incredibly thorough and always leaves us show notes, which is just great. And I'm looking through them, Ryan, and I think we got through them all.
Yeah, I think the one, like we mentioned, the sort of the kicker issues around the league, and I did have the question at the bottom of that little section talking about when it comes to leagues, most standard leagues, guys, you get a kicker and a defense.
Sure.
Now, I'm one of those people who I'm constantly looking at my kicker and defense thinking, who are they playing next week? Should I just drop him and stream another guy next week and just keep rotating every week until I, either find a guy or a defense that's just super hot, or if I'm just getting super good luck and I'm getting the defenses that are getting the turnovers against, a given opponent. Like,
sure.
Who's playing the Jets next week is what I'm looking for out of defenses.
Exactly. And I think that's the way to go. If you notice in our league, I got rid of kickers. When you can't kick it more than 20 yards as a field goal, it's just, why have them? They're clowns out there. Not that I could do any better, but you've got Young-Ho Koo. Youngway. Boy, that's a TikTok ready to have.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
What did I call it?
Young-Ho.
Oh, I thought I said Young-Ho. Because that's the way it's spelled.
It is.
Okay. Anyway, and the Steelers, as you mentioned, top league. If the Steelers are available, which unlikely, most people drafted the Steelers. I went the Broncos thinking, oh, they're going to take care of the Seattle Seahawks with
Geno Mahomes.
Let Geno cook. Geno, he sure did look like it. Let's go to Geno real quick, Leslie. I want to get this on my chest watching this. The guy looked incredible when he threw the 20-yard passes to his tight ends. Outside of that, you could tell he was struggling, at least from the coach's perspective of he's not that good of a QB, so we're going to put DK do a wide receiver screen every about 3 or 4 plays because obviously I can't get it out.
Just put him right in his face. Yeah.
So, Geno looked good. I think that was just a hype game. We're going to see reality settle in next week when it's just an average Joe game. I think the Seahawks go back to stinking. They got lucky for poor coaching on the Denver Broncos, which,
with that last minute.
What?
I don't.
Have you seen anything crazier than that?
Them having 3 timeouts and deciding we'll go for the 62-yard field goal. That'll be our strategy.
Yeah. and look, I went back and I looked. I didn't even know who the Denver Broncos coach was. And I looked at Nathaniel Hackett and I saw his resume. The guy has never in his whole entire career been a head coach. So he's never had to make those decisions. You would think, he could get the coordination down, maybe bring people together down, but you think he would be studying all offseason timeouts. Yep. But you know what? Andy Reid went through this. He was offensive coordinator for many years. It took him a while. He screwed up timeouts in the Super Bowl even. Oof. Now, when he got fired and went to Kansas City, he must have said, all right, somebody else just tell me when.
Yeah, no, he quickly got over it because that was always the biggest. Before he got to Kansas City, it was Andy Reid's a great coach. Players love him. Has no idea what he's doing with his timeouts and
nothing.
Like timing of the game.
And as an Eagles fan, it was just mind-boggling.
Yeah, a lot of close calls. You're almost there, and then something happens in those last 2 minutes, and you're like, where did all the time go?
We did this with the L.A. coach, was it a couple years ago? The Chargers coach, who is now, I think, he's on the Lions or what? He was a running backs coach.
He was why can't I think of his
name?
And
reason we can't think of him because he's gone.
Right.
Because he kept doing horrible calls and losing games at the end. He just didn't. He couldn't coach. And you've got to coach. This is big boys league. We've got millions and millions and millions of dollars. $245 million to be exact going into Russell Wilson, and we're going to kick a 64-yard field goal. I know it's been talked at, ad nauseum on talk radio today about that call, but it needs to be because it was just crazy.
Yeah, and I think the last point on that is how does a veteran like Russell Wilson not say, Coach, what are we doing? Like why? Like Russell Wilson, he can call a timeout. he's more than capable of looking up at the clock and saying, "Oh, we should call a timeout here. It's 4th and 5. They had like 40-some seconds left still. Call a timeout and figure out what you're doing next, because a 62-yard field goal, not the best way to go."
Sure. And going further into this game last night, if you listen to the broadcasters, you can sometimes get some interesting tidbits that you know that they've been talking to the coaches and the ownership, and you kind of get little insight nuggets. And one of them was that, the talk about wanting Pete Carroll wanting to run more, being a run guy, run first coach, and that Russ really wanted to be the guy to pass it and cook. Okay, so that's one of the reasons. There was another insight too, that at one point a couple years ago they realized that Russ just wasn't. He couldn't get out of a sack, and he tried to spin away from it and just couldn't get away. And they realized, Russ is now cooked, physically. But then, so they trade him, and all they do last night is pass the ball.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
what?
No, I as a Rashad Penny owner, I noticed.
Yeah. So you got rid of
Yep.
the guy who you didn't want to let cook for a guy that is cooked, try to cook, and I mean, look, they won. So, but it was just luck. And it was just stupidity at the same time. So I don't know what's going on in Seattle. That's just craziness. But you know what? Kudos to Pete Carroll. He can bumble and fumble his way around into a win.
He sure can. So maybe we'll get a crazier week next week. Maybe we won't. But
let me give one more piece of advice real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
If you are still listening and you're that crazy to hold on this long, stay the course. Don't overreact. Make some minor moves. Wait until another week or two. Now, obviously, that's hard to say if you're going 0-2 and you're like, I get it. But if you can hold the course one more week, 0-1, I get it. It's like, this is another bad year. Give it one more week. I think we're going to see things turn around to what you thought you were drafting in the beginning. If you indeed draft well, you'll find the win coming up next week.
Exactly. So we will get to some more lineup talk on Thursday.
Yes.
And we will come back next week as well with our regular Tuesday show with Caden. All right. So we will talk to you next week. For Mike Collier, Caden McFarland,
The ghost of Cade,
and Ryan Love. We'll see you.